Such is the power of Nagash! That's right. As they say over on the YouTube short that I just played for y'all a moment ago, Nagash is back, baby! That's right. He's here. He's large and in charge. I'm just gonna let this crazy nonsense roll over on the side. So, Creative Assembly has released about the most... This teaser for the Thursday stream is about as subtle as someone expressing that they don't like you by hitting you in the face with a brick. So this is pretty over the top between the teal coloring, the fact that you can see lots of undead zombies and undead creatures are attacking what looks like high elves. It looks like a high elf force that's fighting against a bunch of undead in a very Sylvania looking place. And then there's this big ritual site with a huge sky beam coming out of it that is the color of Nagash stuff. So for anyone that's like, oh, how do you know this is Nagash? Here, let me show you something. So there's a piece of art from the end times, which revolves around what's known as the Battle of the Battle of the Nine Demons. And the Battle of the Nine Demons has this big old showdown during the end times where this happens, where there's a big army of high elves that fights against the resurrection of Nagash, and then a big sky beam goes off and Nagash pops out and he's back. So what that seems to be showing is, I'm guessing, a small portion of a trailer we're going to get to see on Thursday, where Nagash is back. Nagash is returning to Warhammer, and we are likely going to be seeing Nagash for Total War Warhammer as the big feature. I will say that this almost assuredly means that we are getting the end times. We've been having quite a bit of debate about what exactly this giant DLC is going to be. That's really going to be kind of celebrating 10 years of Total War Warhammer. And the answer is the end times, which is, I think, a very good answer. It has the potential to be titanic in size. The end times does include quite a bit of material. The first book, which is Nagash, focuses, of course, on Nagash, the Great Necromancer, and all of his big shenanigans going into the end times, which revolves around him collecting his Mortarchs, and also like creating some new forms of undead with like the Morgas, and he gets like oh my gosh, the word is leaving my mind, but the big undead kitty cats that characters like Manfred von Karstein, Archon the Black, and Neferata ride. And this also would make a lot of sense of that we've been told we're going to be getting a mini pack DLC sometime early-ish next year, which I think is the next DLC coming up. And it's been all but confirmed that that DLC is probably going to be Neferata, based on what they've told us, because they made a whole thing about like, oh, it's a female character who has something to do with blood and yada yada yada. So it's Neferata. And it would make a lot of sense to get Neferata in the game before Nagash hits, because then all three of the big Mortarch characters are in the game. We can actually switch over to the screen. So it's the end times. I'm still very excited for Thursday. In case you're curious, because I haven't actually announced this yet, I am going to be live streaming the event. So if you want, you can come watch the Total War Warhammer, actually the Total War Celebration live stream with me here on my YouTube channel and my Twitch channel. I'll be live streaming it and giving my live reactions and commentary and all that. So if you'd like to be here in the party bus with me, because I'm probably going to be losing my shit. I mean, if it's Nagash, I'm really excited for Nagash. I'm a little annoyed at this teaser, because it's not really a teaser, it's more of just a flat reveal. Which, to be fair, Creative Assembly, God bless them, historically, they have not been very good at revealing things and not just like when they say they're gonna do a teaser, they basically just tell you what it is. This is another one of those cases. So, but in any event, I'm really looking forward to this. I hope during the show we get to see him. If we could at least get maybe his voice actor, so if they could like show off his voice, or if they could tell us, or they could show him what he looks like, or maybe tell us about how he's going to work in game or anything. Any of that information would be incredible. I am quite curious how far they're going to go with the end times. The end times contains a pretty significant amount of content, but to be fair, a lot of it is already in game. So book 1 is Nagash, and there's stuff that we could definitely get with like Nagash himself. Maybe some of the Mortarchs could make for good additional characters, either as lords or heroes. It would be a good opportunity to maybe add some further content to the undead factions. Book 2, which is called the Glotkin, is about the Glotkin, who is a fucking huge character. He's like 3 legendary lords combined into a single character, and it's absolutely ridiculous looking. So it's a beautiful design, but it's kind of crazy. So if we're getting the Glotkin, I don't know how they're gonna make him balanced. He's gonna have to cost like $1 billion in like multiplayer, or 1 billion points or whatever, because he's so big. Like, man, it's it's gonna be crazy if he's even close to how big he's supposed to be. But there is a lot of characters in Glotkin, because that's where we get like the Magath Lords, which there are 3 of those guys, and then we also have Gutrot Spume, the Kraken Lord, who's got like all the tentacles and stuff. I love Gutrot Spume. I think he'd make a fantastic legendary hero for like Norska and the Warriors of Chaos and Nurgle, because I'll admit it, I have a personal agenda where I really want Norska to get a legendary hero for each of the dark gods. So like they have Scylla and Fringrim for Khorne. I know Creative Assembly, I've been talking to them a lot about it, is deeply considering adding Styrkar of the Swartzvaneder to Norska as well as their Slaanesh representative. And then hopefully in a perfect world, we could get Gutrot Spume as their Nurgle representative. And then maybe for Tzeentch, we could get like King Adela of Skeggy, or maybe we could get like Galrach, or something like that. That way they just have like one of each. That would be awesome, but we'll see what the future holds. But I mean, Nurgle's gonna get, I mean, that would give us Putrid Blight Kings, which I've long suspected we were gonna get Putrid Blight Kings. So that part doesn't surprise me. I feel like Putrid Blight Kings are an easy addition. Especially because maybe that would give us a chance to get like a new Chaos Lord model, like the generic Chaos Lord. Maybe they could replace the one we currently have, or the Exalted Hero. Maybe they could replace them with a Putrid Blight King model, so we get like a big fat boy generic Lord, which a lot of people have really wanted, because you know they're a little too Warrior of Chaos looking. It'd be nice to get them like really gross Nurgle looking. But it's like we got the Khorne guys from the end times, being the oh my gosh, the Blood Warriors, and not the Blood Warrior, I can't remember what they're called all of a sudden, but the Skull whatevers and the Blood whatevers, but the like elite Khorne infantry that we got from the Khorne DLC. So that makes sense. Then Thanquol, oh my god, there's so much stuff with Thanquol, which is part 4. Thanquol is an easy slam dunk. We've known he's coming to the game forever. This would also mean that we're getting End Times Thanquol, who is infinitely superior to pre-End Times Thanquol, because he actually gets Bone Ripper as a mount instead of like this weird little companion thing that runs around and dies instantly. And that would also be, we'd be looking at Storm Fiends, we'd be looking at Vermin Lords, Screech Vermin King. So there's a lot of good stuff there. And then part 3 and part 5 though are a bit of a struggle, because part 3 is Kane, but Kane was the worst book by far. Like, it was a terrible book, and it also did not come with a single new toy. There was no new models, there was no new units, there were no new characters. Kane was really trash. It was a really terrible book for so many reasons, but it also just didn't add anything. Like, it was the book for the elves and they got nothing out of it. Like, some of their characters got new profiles, but like it was terrible. So I can't see them adapting Kane as like a big thing because there's nothing there. I mean, they could do it, and they could use it as an excuse to maybe add some more elf content. I mean, Erloth plays a huge role in the end times. Like, Erloth, who's a wood elf character, he plays a huge role in the end times. So they could do Erloth. Nigh the prophetess also plays a pretty significant role, and we don't have her yet for the wood elves. For the dark elves, you know, we're still missing like Talar's Dreadbringer, Shadowblade, and Corrin Darkhand. So any of those could be viable characters. High elves are tapped. Like, I cannot think of anything the high elves could use. Like, they're done. They're like done. So except for Korhel, Korhel as a legendary hero would be great. But other than that, like, the Anointed of Assurin, I guess, as a generic lord choice or a hero choice, depending which one they want to do. It'd have to be a lord choice. I feel like a Phoenix mount for generic heroes would probably be too strong. But well, I guess we'll see what the future holds. And then part 5, Archaon, there's nothing left. Creative Assembly has adapted everything that book gave us because most of it was Khorne, and we have it all. So I'm not really sure what they would do for part 5, because all of the like major minis and all of like the things that had stat blocks are already in Total War Warhammer. There's literally nothing not in it. So I don't know what they would do for part 5. When I was live streaming earlier today, a bunch of people in my chat were saying there were a bunch of leaks about the End Times DLC supposedly. And a lot of people are talking about Middenheim was in there. Middenheim would be cool. Middenheim would make a lot of sense, and it would give like a good guy faction. Middenheim is the only major already published Empire roster that has not been released, which Middenheim has their big Storm of Chaos roster, which the Storm of Chaos, I think we've received in Warhammer, Total War Warhammer. We literally have every single one of the sub-factions from the Storm of Chaos except for Middenheim. It's the only one that's not in the game yet. So it could make a lot of sense to do Middenheim, because that could give us Toddy, that could give us Boris Todbringer, and that could give us like a shit ton of units. The Empire got a ton of units that are not in Total War Warhammer from their Storm of Chaos roster. So they could do that. That would be cool. I would not be upset if they did that because there's nothing else for part 5. Like, we have Archaon, we have all the Khorne stuff. We have literally everything ever published for the Warriors of Chaos outside of like several monsters. But even the monsters that we're missing, none of them are like super famous monsters. They're very like kind of off to the side things from like the Storm of Magic books. You know, it's like, oh, like, would it be nice to get like the gigantic Chaos Spawn or the giant spined Chaos Beast or the Warpfire Dragon or the Basilisk or the Chaos Siege Giant? Like, any of those would be awesome, but you know, they're very kind of off to the side stuff. But anyway, I just wanted to make a video about it because CA just literally dropped this. They did not tell us in advance that they were doing that. So but let me know what y'all think. Nagash is coming because such is his power. He cannot be stopped. I am elated that Nagash is coming to the game. He's one of my favorite characters in the setting. So yeah, let me know what y'all think. I'm really excited for Thursday. I hope y'all will join me because I'm going to be bringing hype. I'll tell you that. I'm going to be excited. I'll tell you that. So if you want to be a part of that and you want to leech, you want to like be like, oh yeah, give me that hype meter. Then please feel free to come join me. I'll have the lobby up probably sometime today or tomorrow, and I'll see you guys then. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.